This is a video for women who believe in God. So in Galatians 5, that's where we have the fruits of the Spirit. One of them is gentleness. Well, when you look at the, Strong's root of that, you'll find that it means usefulness. And how can you be useful? Well, you repent from sin, you obey the commandments, you eat clean, and then you go teach other women and children to do so, right? If we love God, we're going to keep the commandments. That's very simple. John 14 tells us that. And, when you fulfill the royal law, when you love your neighbor, you speak with salt. That's how it is. One of the sisters used this analogy, but, like when cleaning a wound, you need salt to help purify it and clean it. Well, that's the same way. When you speak with salt, you're speaking with conviction, because that is what is going to lead, other women to repent. And it's different. Like if one of the sisters messes up, she has a repentant heart, right? And she's coming to you for counsel and everything like that. She's already repented. She's not making a career out of sin. She's not willfully continuing in sin. You are going to be a little more compassionate. But somebody who is like in the Christian church, who, thinks they're once saved, always saved, that, just breaking the commandments, doesn't think they have to obey them, you're going to rebuke them sharply, so that, essentially that God's grace can be upon them, which is conviction that will lead them to turn away from sin. We have Titus 2. It helps you turn away from ungodliness. If you're ungodly, you're breaking the commandments. And, so really, just if you are getting corrected, don't immediately think like, oh, well, you aren't walking perfectly. Just things like that. Because Matthew 7, you are supposed to pick the log out of your own eye prior to picking it out of others. So you're not a hypocrite in judgment, right? But a lot of that is with idolatry. Psalm 115, 135 tells you that you become deaf, dumb, and blind like your idols. So the log, that's referring to idolatry. 1 John 5 tells you it's the sin that leads to death, right? But, if I'm struggling with Jezebel, I'm not going to go rebuke another woman who was being a Jezebel, because, I would be a hypocrite in that. But, God's servants will speak with salt. And it is to help turn you towards God, right? It's not to belittle you or whatever else you think it is. Women were full of pride, just how it is. Correction isn't always easy to take, but take it to the Father. Please let Him work in you, because it would be so much better to be refined now than on the other side during Great Tribulation.